Good evening. Welcome to the Auburn Board of Health meeting. It is Monday, March 9th, and we are at 5:30 p.m. I'd like to open the meeting. Call the meeting to order. First item is, do we have review the agenda, add or remove anything off the agenda tonight?
No.
Okay. Do we have a bill schedule tonight?
Oh, that's what we'll have to remove. No.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Bill schedule.
Well, that one just says bill schedule. It can be yes or no. So we're good. Minutes. We don't have any minutes?
We don't have any
Nope.
minutes.
All right, that's fine. Look at that. Okay. So what we'll do now is we'll go right into correspondence and under director's issues. So we just got here, so the list, I did a quick, that one's done. I turned my, I believe, oh, I was gonna bring it last meeting. I have mine
Okay.
done.
So, Mary, that's the conflict of interest that you have to do.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, so it's time again.
okay.
And then
So I take it home,
you take it home,
All
and
right.
there's a website right here. If you need help with it,
all right.
to go on, or if you want to come in here one day and take it, we would help you take it.
All right,
and
well,
then
I'll try to get on if my grandson comes by and
That's pretty simple.
gives me his Gmail.
And then when you print it, you bring it in and we give it to the town clerk.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I forgot mine today because I know I did it because I had to do Sutton and Westboro at the same time, so I know I did them all. Okay, all right, that's the total, yeah. So this is just our, this is new.
Yeah,
This right here, this is something I haven't seen before.
I don't have one, what is it?
Yeah, it's the mission statement, and it just kind of looks like it's just a little,
Oh, it's your annual town report for the Board of
the
Health.
town
Alright.
report, that's what I thought, it's just a little,
Yeah.
looks a little different.
Yeah, a little
Well,
different.
Andy never put pictures.
Yeah, that's the town
So-
report, so Darlene wanted you guys both to have a copy of it.
No, that's great.
okay.
I'll read that at home, it's not something
Me
we have to
too.
worry about here. Let's see, that's a solid waste disposal form. Wow, okay, so
I have.
I'm gonna have you run through the list, starting under correspondence and work your way down.
Flu vaccine order.
Okay.
Last year, we ordered 160 doses,
Mm-hmm.
plus we obtained about 200 from the state. We did use it all.
Okay.
But fairly quickly, if you remember, Ray, we were done like before the end of the year.
Yep,
So they're asking us now if we want to put our hold on for the 160 for next year. We do not know at this time if we're going to get state supplied vaccine.
we're
So-
not getting.
They told us no, but you know, they
Yeah.
said that every year, so.
It looks like from what I've read, the state's getting out of the vaccine business. They don't want to do it anymore. It's when it was the H1N1 and stuff like that, they were, now I think they want done.
I was
They
just
want
gonna
out of it.
say,
Yeah,
how would that come out in as far as the fall is concerned and,
well, if we put a hold on it, then we'll be guaranteed to get our 160 doses. If we don't put a hold on it now, we can still try to order in the fall, and it's, you
okay.
know, depends on their
Yeah.
demand and supply. We have not gotten our reimbursement yet from Commonwealth, so we don't know, you know, how that's gonna play in for what we ordered last year.
you wouldn't know either, what kind of strain we're gonna be fighting next year and that if
And they were
the
wrong this year.
vaccine is different.
Yeah, and when we put the hold, that's not to tell them what they're going to send us. I think as a whole, they decide. We didn't
Yeah.
pick last year what they sent us, except that we didn't want the quad, we didn't want the expensive one.
Yeah.
So you decided whether try or quad, and we did the
Try.
Okay.
Yeah, I think last year we put the hold on early too. I think we voted on that in February and just said, yeah, just told
I
Darlene.
remember, that's right.
Yeah, you know, it's better to put that hold out. If the state supplies, great. If they don't, then we end up buying our own if we're gonna stay in the flu business. I know other towns, because if the state's not gonna supply, they're not gonna do flu clinics. They're gonna send everybody to minute clinics and doctors and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's, I think it's tough that that's the way it's gonna happen right now, but that's what it looks like a lot of people are doing, so. And CVS comes out in August with it, so a lot of people get it early, and I think our numbers have dwindled a little bit, so it may actually work out better for everybody, and,
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I wouldn't mind still having 50 or 100 for people who don't have insurances and can't pay
Yeah.
for it, to have that, and that's what the vaccine from the state was supposed to be for anyways, was underinsured, so. We'll see what happens if the state sends us
I think
vaccine.
the state wants to get into vaccinating children.
Yes.
So,
They want to do it on the school level is what I heard. They don't, the Board of Health will barely have anything to do with it. It's gonna go to the school nurses and for the school, the town
Oh, that'd be
nurse,
fun.
whatever, is gonna be handling, that's just what I've heard in some of the meetings I've gone to. They're talking about the schools becoming more involved in that. The town, like if
Right.
we had, like Cheryl, who is our public health nurse, would probably get involved with the school department and the school nurses to help them with it, but it would probably just bypass the Board of Health. You know, we might be able to get involved for first responders, but I think,
and I have heard that they want to do it at the school level, but I think it will still come to the Board of Health.
Okay.
But we could turn it
True,
over to them.
absolutely.
It would come to the Board of
Yeah.
Health, and then we
Okay.
could enlist their help in vaccinating,
Yeah.
and they were great this year. You remember,
Yeah.
we had a couple nurses from the
Mhm.
school who came over and did our clinics
Yeah.
with us, so.
Yeah, I
um,
can do that, I can
So
do
is that something, Ray, that you think needs to be voted on, the flu vaccine?
no, because I think last year we were gonna put it to a vote and we said no, because it's not, it's something we do every year, it's not, doesn't need a vote.
We do
I
it
think it
in
would just,
schools, wonderful.
yeah.
I'll be there.
Okay.
I think we said, yeah, the vaccine order is just something, I think it's more of what Andy used to do with us, it was kinda like, hey, guys, I wanna put a order in now so we don't lose it, and that's fine with us. It's.
Okay. And the state, you're right, Ray, the state called us in February and said, hey, should we put you down for
Yeah.
yes or no? And we held off, so we'll
Yep.
contact them. The next, the permit renewal updates, late renewals, you'll be happy to know that we didn't have anyone that needed to be brought in front of the board. We did have some late, people that paid late, but they came in, they paid their late fees, and everyone is permitted.
Remember when we used to be in September and we'd have people who hadn't paid yet, Marion?
Yeah.
Remember that? And
I
then we
do
said,
remember
let's start charging fees and pushing the fees and start after 30 days, or we'll take the license away, bring them in front of us. That was like 3 or 4 years ago we started that, and it dwindled. The first number was like 35, then it went down to 20, then I think one year was 10, and now we got none coming in front of the board.
We did, we are gonna start tracking how much we're getting in delinquency fees,
Yeah.
just to show that on there, but we,
Okay.
Yeah.
everyone is
Good.
currently paid and permitted. Tobacco complaints, do you have that in there?
Compliance checks? I
Compliance
didn't get a letter on the compliance checks.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, we had a couple that did have some small minor issues.
Okay.
This is one of the emails. We're following up, Worcester's gonna follow up and do rechecks. They had some questions for us, and then they found some,
Mhm.
you know, someone didn't have their chain hooked, someone had their humidor unlocked.
Yeah.
Kind of repetitive things that we see when we go in for our inspections.
Couldn't find those.
Yeah, and so we.
And that's what it looks like, it's more paperwork, it doesn't look like a sale. I didn't see,
So these were compliance checks, not stings.
okay, all right.
Yeah, they're compliance checks. And they check, what they do in a compliance check is check all the signage.
We do our own compliance
Yeah.
checks in Westboro,
Oh,
so
you do?
I do them myself.
Yeah, so you know, you're
Oh,
doing
that's
the
good.
DOR, you're doing the R permit, the signage, the length, you know, you have to have an arm's length, or the
Yeah.
chain, the blockage, so.
Yeah.
They're gonna follow up and go back to them again.
Is BJ selling?
Yeah, well, yeah, they have it all behind the counter locked up.
Ah, I see.
It's just they have to, one of the laws, you have to post all permits. And if they can't find them, then they can't post them, and
So
then,
that's what happened.
And
So-
and I think we had sent them another one. Me and Darlene were able to go out, in the fall, we went out with them on compliance checks. I did half the town, and then Darlene did half the town with the girl from Worcester. And it was really enlightening to see how they go in and do their checks. So Ray said he's doing them and
Yeah.
what they're checking. So as we are opening new establishments and giving them their first permit, we actually have to do them. But after
Yeah.
that, they take over. But, you know, it was a good, they gave us their checklist, so we're actually in between all of theirs. Anytime I go out to an
Yeah.
establishment, we're doing the same check that they do.
yeah, we have our own rules and regulations in Westboro that we had to add to the checklist, so we built our own checklist using the state checklist and that one. I called, what's his name? Guy out of Brookline. He works for the state, and I use him as my contact, and he sent me all the paperwork, and that's what I use. So, no, it's great that we're doing that. I don't think I think Worcester was doing them for us before, and nobody else was doing them, but if we have time to get them done, then yeah, it's great if you go in and do it at a convenience store while you're there, you know what you're looking for, so that's good.
And Darlene's following up on that one with Worcester.
Home
So you
control.
saw the annual town report.
Yep.
Darlene, yeah, she worked very hard on that, Ray, so it is a new format,
Yep.
and I think it's got a lot of great information in it. Conflict of interest, I think we've emailed Steve as well, but I will tomorrow if if he doesn't have it, to let him know he needs to do it.
And what I may do is just, if I find it, I know I have it somewhere because I put it to bring here last week, 2 weeks ago. So I think if I have it at home, I'll just drop it in the mailbox and just put Board of Health on it so you guys get a copy.
Animal control update. Amy's well on her way. She's very busy and working on a couple cases. She's going through the state to get everything up and running for us, to have it all here in the office. So she's doing very well, and she's extremely busy, but she's done a lot of work on the kennel and, updated the kennel and got it all cleaned out. So she's happy. We're happy
Good.
How
she's here.
many people does she work with?
Amy, alone.
Alone?
There's sometimes some volunteers down at the kennel, but
Yeah.
not all
Yeah,
the
and she's
time.
gonna work into that program. And
Good.
inspections, we're starting to do all of our first year inspections for the first part of the year. We just did Special Olympics over the weekend. We also are starting with all of our new temporary events for the summer. They start end of February, beginning of March. And new establishments, we have BP Gas Station, 860 Southbridge Street. I did their final today, so I'm going to issue them their tobacco and their food permits tomorrow. We have 68 Central Street, which is Head Start is going in to the Edmonds Center, St. Joseph's Parish down the road. They're going to operate 2 or 3 classrooms, and they're going to utilize the kitchen for breakfast and lunch. So my inspection is tomorrow there to open them up. And we have another BP gas station, 481 Washington Street. They are just in the final stages of completing their 3-bay sink and grease trap, and I should probably have an inspection there next week to open them up. We did have one closure. We got a letter today in the mail that Pizzeria Regina closed in the Auburn Mall. Yeah, I was surprised. I don't know any more than that, other than they closed. So my thought is we'll probably hear something.
Yeah, there's something else will be going in
Yeah,
there.
someone else will be going in there. And I think that's it for new or closed. I don't think there's
Okay.
any others that are closed.
All right.
Communicable diseases, I'll give you these two, and I'll save
Are we
Steve.
clean?
They're the same, or they- That's the 228, that's the 129, so that's January and February. And you can check them out.
Oh, so they're both done here, December.
Yep.
I thought she had copied for me.
Oh, no, we only get one and we pass it around.
Yep.
How about swimming pools? Have you guys started working on swimming pools in town yet?
Hampton Inn is done.
Okay.
I'm doing Holiday Inn Express Spa because they're doing a renovation. I could have told you that too. Just their dining room, not their kitchen, but they're moving some stuff in their dining room. So when I go to that inspection, I'll do their spa there. And then Darlene's got appointments for the other two.
Okay, good. And I'm doing my year rounds, and then I got all my, I have 22. So we have 5 year round, and then we have 17 summer pools. So
We
outdoor
only have year
pools.
round here. We
Yeah.
don't have summer.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of condo complexes that have their own pools. The Y out there, we have an indoor pool, and they're putting in a spray park
Oh.
and a zero entry pool. So that'll be fun.
Are these, have you got these down here? Is this a person?
Is it individuals
Number?
or is that?
Individual people?
I need to see it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a.
Same here.
Oh yeah, it says 27, but I don't know if that's. Yeah, that's probably. It's
Yeah,
it's
individual, that's been 19 people.
yeah, and 27 on this one. That's the influenza. So
So they're, oh, that's right. They,
those are the yeah. If it
Those
was
are a lot of
if it was a really bad thing we saw,
I know it.
Lyme
Yeah,
disease or something like
senior
that.
we
housing.
So,
get
I think-
called.
yeah.
We had
Any with the senior housing? Have you had any norovirus?
Not noro, we had 2 separate incidents of the flu, but
Okay.
not noro.
Yeah, we had one noro
I
case.
actually, I think you guys knew though, but back maybe in the summer, they had what could have possibly been that, but they had an outbreak.
Yeah.
She has it as contact. Is it? Contact.
78 contacts.
No,
12.
12 TB.
And how many did you find in the report?
Yeah, well, this is how she's got it.
Is there, is
Means
there,
12
yeah.
people,
Yeah, 12 people.
but she might have had to contact them. You know how she has to go and follow through with
Oh,
the
yeah,
events?
yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
she might have to contact them
Yeah.
more, but
I don't know.
we're working on four,
I can see.
we're working on 4 cases in
Yeah.
my town. It's costing us a ton because
Really?
we have to pay for our nurses.
Mm.
And the state, when the state tells you that, oh yeah, they have to be seen 4 days a week, they have to be seen 4 days a week. And we pay for it.
Who does your,
We have like we used to have here in Auburn, a VNA.
would VNA use
Yeah,
VNA?
we use the VNA out
Oh,
in
that's
Westrock.
good.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, we got 15 minutes before we can do any of these hearings. Let's see. So, all right, so any other issues going on in town? You know, nothing by name, but any other issue, like you guys are running into any problems with anything, or any other issues, any housing cases that are up and about? Is the state picked up any more houses in town now they had that whole
the
thing going?
abandoned housing?
Yeah, the abandoned housing initiative.
I'm not sure if Darlene has told you this yet, but do you recall Cannon Reed, who ran the Attorney General's abandoned
Yes,
program?
yeah.
And we worked very closely with her. She has since left the Attorney
Okay.
General's office. So her boss actually has taken over.
Okay.
And, an overload of cases. So we still had a couple that we were following through with, one that had already been permitted
Mhm.
to have the work done, and one that we were working with. Both of them, I think, have completed their work.
Okay.
And the other vacants that we're working with, we haven't moved forward.
Okay.
They've all worked with us.
All right.
We have a couple properties that are under property management through the bank.
Mhm.
And I had put out a couple of orders on them to do some repair work and some ground maintenance to secure them up before winter. They did the maintenance like the 2 days before our first huge storm.
Mhm.
So they're calling us aggressively because they want me to go inspect. I can't.
Okay.
Both of them, for snow reasons,
Mhm.
I can't get to what needs to be inspected.
Mhm.
So we do have a couple that the bank is actively following through and doing what we need to do. The building inspector here is equally cooperative in getting all the permits pulled and making sure the work's being done right. So I'm assuming once the spring comes and we can see again,
Yeah, once the 5 feet of snow's off the
right,
ground, you'll
what
be able to
was
see
done and
what's...
what wasn't,
Yeah.
we can follow through
Yeah,
with the
it's coming
vacant
along.
property. There's something here, Ray, objection to the community
So
this.
is this fellow coming in, or is
No,
is that
not
good?
coming in.
That's a good thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's easy. We're just gonna go over the MOU and everything like that, and then we'll discuss that one. Yeah, they're set 10 minutes apart, and then we're not gonna spend about 5 minutes on each unless somebody comes in, and that one we'll take. But we can't start them early. So
Okay.
the last one will be easy. The first one will be easy. The only other one. So if you want to review this one, this is the one I believe that's coming in. So that's the one we can handle as the time comes forward. So what's that one?
Mara Vista, they,
Oh. Now these are CMRs, so we don't. Let's go from resident page. Huh. So it says, what are the community rules? I don't know what they're talking about. I know there are rules and regulations that get sent out.
For what now?
The mobile home parks, and I'm writing
Oh,
regarding community
yeah.
rules
I
from
believe they
our,
have to have them included as part of their application.
Yeah,
package,
so-
And he's objecting to that.
to sending them in, okay.
Well, I think that not only have to send them in, they have to have been reviewed and with no
Mhm.
restraints from the Attorney General's office. I don't know whether
Yeah.
we're getting them rules or regulations.
I must object to the proposed rules as submitted. Certain rules appear to be unreasonable and fair. So this is coming from, this is coming from the CPD. All right, Consumer Protection Division. This isn't from the park. This is the
Okay.
Commonwealth. All right, this is Commonwealth, Massachusetts. Okay. And it's the Attorney General. You must object to the proposal. All right, so what they're saying, all right, this makes sense now. I thought it was the park writing to us.
And I
So-
didn't read it.
All right, so what they're saying is the Attorney General's office and, well, Attorney General's office, but this is, they're sending it out to Crows, and they sent me a copy of, so they're saying they're not happy with the rules and regulations. So, what's gonna happen with you and Darlene is have to find out what, they have rules that they don't like, and then you're gonna have to talk to Mara Vista and say, okay, we need to make sure these are correct, and they follow the state. This is the Attorney General
let me
sending
read
it to
that.
us,
Oh, okay.
telling
Yeah.
us that
Oh.
they're not gonna, we got copies of what they sent to, it looks like they sent to the park, they don't like the rules that were submitted. They're not happy with them, so
So we can't permit them.
we
Okay.
can't permit them until they have rules that are done correctly.
Okay.
And that's what
Yep.
I'm taking out of that, just a quick
Yep.
perusal.
And I haven't read it yet, so
Yeah.
now I'll read it.
So now, I believe that's what it says. It's saying, just to make sure that, no, we don't like this, we don't like this, and it's contradictory. So
Okay.
they're saying, change your rules and regulations, or else we're not gonna allow the town to permit you. All right, we got 7 minutes till. All right. Instead of having dead air for the next 7 or 8 minutes, would you like to take a recess? And I can use the facilities or stuff like that. Can you make a motion to take a recess?
If you want to.
I would like you to make a motion to take a recess.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
I second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're gonna recess for about 5 minutes until our thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that recess, and now we're gonna get right back into the meeting, and we have our first item for a hearing is we have a 6 o'clock hearing on Jack's Variety. We have a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. All right, so if you want to just hit the high points and let us know what's going on over there.
Jack is out on a medical leave, so he couldn't be here tonight,
Okay.
but he had supplied this for our last meeting that we ultimately had to cancel. He had been in front of the board, and you had requested of him to come up with a time frame where he would either stop selling coffee or provide the 2-bay sink. And he went back and went over the MOU, and this is what he submitted to us.
Okay.
He has asked in writing for us to extend the MOU from the original one. And he put in some information that he's asking if he can have until April 1st, when either sink is installed or the coffee service is discontinued.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm not happy with the last line in it, but it says this agreement may be modified or extended. It's not going to be modified or extended. We already said that this is the end all be all. We've already extended. He went over the dates and everything, and Steve was very adamant about that last time. I mean, it's fine. He can leave it in there if it comes in front of us. I'm not going to allow an extension. And I mean, if it goes to a vote too, and the other two vote the extension and I don't, well, then that's what happens. But we did say that there had to be a date, and it had to be, I called it a drop dead date. That's it. It stops, or it's either in by that date or stops by that date. So right now we're in March. If he doesn't have the sink ordered and he doesn't have the plumbing started, it's not gonna be done by April 1st.
I have not reached out to him
Okay.
since I went by, about 4 weeks ago. I
Okay.
went by when I thought we were gonna have our first meeting, right?
Yep.
And he was leaving that night.
Yeah, you had told me he
You know,
was
on
going,
medical
yeah, he was
leave.
going medical.
So he may be back in the store.
Mhm.
I rather than email in case he was still out. I
Yeah,
wanted to
no, I
stop by.
understand.
But I can take a ride by and see where he's at with it. I don't know.
Yeah, because if you have, because I don't want to get to April 1st and say, oh, it's on order, we're getting the thing, and well, even if it's on order, I want the coffee service stopped. They'll have to pull the machine until the sink is in, and you go and inspect the sink and make sure it's what we want. I just want to make sure that, it's just that last line, because it should have just stopped as all coffee service is discontinued, done. Steve was very adamant about it, and I'm adamant, but there is no modification. This is going to be almost a year now, because I think we started in June. So we'll be 10 months into it, and he hasn't done anything that we asked to do. The MOU that we did between Jack's and Heritage was supposed to be a 30 or 60 day thing, and now we're looking at it's going to be almost 10 months. And it is kind of taking advantage. It's also on us for not stepping it up and pulling him in sooner than we did. I think we brought him back in December.
A couple of times.
Yeah, I think we brought him back in December,
And I agree
November,
with you
December.
100% on this.
So this is not allowable under code. I mean, we allowed it because we said it was going to be a short period of time. But the machine they either have to have the sinks in by the 1st of April, or they are pulling the machine out and it's stored someplace out there. The MOU gets done. You can't wash anything back in Lorner's. Everything has to be done on site, and that's it. I mean, we have to stand firm. This is what we asked the first time. It was supposed to be a 30 or 60 day, and then 90 days later, we're like, oh geez, how come we haven't heard from Jack's? We didn't stay. That was on the board. We should have had it written down in our schedule saying, hey, we're gonna bring Jack in. We should have requested Jack to be in at the end of that 90 days and know what was going on, and that's on us. But yeah, that's it on April 1st, which is if I'm correct, it's a Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't have a calendar. Chris, do you know what April 1st?
I do.
Oh, I got one in front of me too, but it's just gonna take me too long to open it.
Is Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
So, if you don't mind, I'd put in your calendar on April 1st to be at Jack's. And if he doesn't have a sink in, he has to remove the machine. That's the fairest thing I can do. That's what this is gonna say. And I don't care. And you know something, even if he has a guy working on the sink that day, it's gotta come out because that was what it was. It has to be installed or in place by April 1st.
And all board members agreed on that.
Well, we were all in agreement the first time, and as long as everybody's still in agreement with it, I think that's what we need to do. And the MOU says it. So it says, MOU shall end April 1st, 2015, whether a sink is installed or the coffee service is, when either a coffee sink is installed, the coffee service is discontinued. So at that point, I think that's what we need to do. We need to be in there on that day and make sure one or the other is done. And we have to stand firm. We have to, stay with what we said.
I will let him know in writing.
Okay.
That was-
Yeah, well, it's here, it's his letter. We just have to sign it and say, okay, we're gonna hold you to this.
Mhm.
That's good enough. He wrote it. That's his thing. So we just gotta stand
We
firm.
also, this agreement may be modified or extended
Well,
upon
that's
written
good.
request.
The thing is, it says approval from the board, so it would take 2 or 3 of us to allow him to extend it. And at this point right now, I think we're all in agreement that there is no extension. So I think we're all set there.
Okay,
So we can leave it like that. I'm not gonna have him rewrite it. I'd rather him just go with that, and then if it comes back in front of the board, we just, follow what everybody vote the way you feel.
Okay.
All right. So, just need a motion to close the
Are you
hearing.
able to Board of Health?
Oh.
I make that motion.
All right. I second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 2-0 in favor of closing the hearing on that. We got 3 minutes till the next hearing. Anything else we have going on that we need to discuss? Just something that came up, I heard about, I think I saw it in the newspaper. Was an animal control issue in December into January. How'd that work out?
They're still working on it.
They're still working on
Amy's
that?
working with the state,
Okay.
with it, they have town council and stuff
Yeah,
involved.
okay. Well, because I hadn't heard anything about it, so I read it in the newspaper, so I was like, oh geez, so I saw that in the
I didn't
newspaper,
realize
so.
it was that newspaper, yeah. I know she's been working right along with them, so
Okay.
I know she's done a few
All right, good.
reports and sent it through.
Good, no, I had heard something about it and I couldn't remember it, so I just wanted to make sure I was correct and it was Auburn. You know, I was like,
It was.
alright, good. Alright, well that only took a minute. That's the only thing with these things, you can't start them early. You can start them late, you can't start them early. Well, I told Darlene if she thinks she's gonna have short ones, stack them within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that way, if it does run late, we can start another one late, we just can never start early. And it just, I knew Jack's was gonna be quick, and the last one, 400, will be quick.
Should probably been the second one.
Yeah, and well, no, it's better at the end because we can get it done in 2 minutes, and we don't have to wait 8 minutes till the next hearing. So, yeah, that's one thing, and I'll just let you know, I told Darlene and Paula when they put them together, if we know no one's gonna be coming in, set up 5 minutes of the other one. I don't even care if there's 3 of them set for the same time, because we go through them pretty quick.
Pretty quick.
Except unless we're doing septic plans, we're gonna have the plans in front of us. Those are 10 or 15 minute easy.
Yeah, 1 more minute.
Thank you, Chris. Good thing I got my timer over there in the corner,
I know,
huh?
oh gosh.
Keep flapping your jaws.
I know, I gotta keep flapping. You know me, I like to talk, Chris, so
Yeah.
I can keep things
It's
going
okay.
for a couple minutes. I read through this one, so we'll be opening this hearing next.
Yeah.
All right. And this one should take a little longer, because we have someone coming in, so that's fine. Let's see, this.
30 seconds.
We're like in a newsroom, it's gonna count me down. On in 5, 4. All right. Oh, you know, all right. If we have time in between, then we'll just set our next schedule.
50. Intense.
See, once I get Chris started on something, it doesn't stop.
And 5, 4, 3,
Remember, I gotta-
2,
Yes,
1.
I know. Okay, it is now 6:10 and we can open the hearing on 65 Burnett Street, alternative solid waste disposal request. Is there someone here for that? If you want to have a seat and introduce yourself, please.
I'm Christine Robidoux, the guardian and conservator of Pauline Rubin.
Okay.
You had asked me to make, or
More
you could,
legible
so you could see
copies.
these.
Yeah, we
so-
can read the other ones.
Okay, so that's that one.
I'm Ray. I am the chair. I'm Ray Gauthier, chairman of the Board of Health.
Okay,
And Marion Howard, Board of
okay,
Health.
okay.
So what we have here is you have requested alternative solid waste disposal form. Could you just give us some information on why you're requesting? I mean, I read this, but just so for the record, if you could tell us why and where you came about this for us,
So
please.
she was moved into a nursing home back in March on 2013, and my sister and I were not guardians at the time. We recently became guardians as of, I believe it was August, when we finally got all the final paperwork. And we were left with a big mess and trying to catch up with, you know, like what the other guardian had done. You know, this is, even though this is important, this is like minute.
Compared to everything else you have to worry about. Okay.
We got letters from the IRS.
Yeah.
Taxes weren't filed. We recently, you know, had to get a review from the VA because the monies are not matching up, and so we were getting audited for that. And so we're just trying to straighten it out and, you know, get the bills squared away. We've been paying on the property taxes that have been let go. We're almost caught up on
Is
that.
this you and your sister?
Yes,
And you're both,
co-conservators.
okay.
And so basically, she was moved out, you know, March of 2013, and then the tenant was also moved out. It was that October. So nobody's lived in the place,
The
and
whole building, no one's lived there?
no one's living there, and actually, at present, no one can live there because there was also an accident under the old conservator where she wasn't watching out for the asset in the house,
Mhm.
and the pipes burst,
Okay.
And so now we're into another phase of going through with the insurance and trying to get monies to repair, and that's been going on roughly a year.
When did the pipes burst?
It was last, let's see, it was January,
Of
December.
2014, 2013,
Yeah.
December 2014,
Yeah, yeah.
January, somewhere in that range.
Right, right.
Okay.
It was when the cold snap happened. So
So
it's like actually
2000.
over a year.
13?
2013, 2014 into that January, December, January section. I didn't mean to interrupt, but so was the house, when the pipes burst, did the Board of Health go in and declare it unfit for human habitation or anything, or you guys just shut it down and just?
We just shut it down because the pipes, even though the heat and the water is running,
Mhm.
it's been shut up and nobody's living there.
Okay,
And so now there's some issues with mold. So
Okay.
we're having, a mold expert go in, and
Okay.
we're gonna have to have all of that remediated. And the whole idea was we wanted to get the house on the market and
sell
sold
it, yeah.
and whatnot, but it's, not gonna happen right now. We're hoping we've got a builder lined up and all these other things lined up, and we're have to put a new roof on it and all of this other stuff. So we've got all these expenses that got dumped on us that we're actually having to pay out of our own pocket and not the estate. The estate was
There's
drained.
no insurance on the house at all?
The insurance, the damage for the water is going to be paid for by the insurance, but the house, the roof, which needed to be replaced to get the house on the market, didn't have any money from the estate because the previous guardian, drained the estate and didn't leave enough money for, you do the little repairs to get the house up and ready for market. And, things like the chimney needs to be repointed and, there was no money left. So now that's all of our, personal savings that we're gonna have to pay out of our own pockets. So anything that, you can give us, we would greatly appreciate. But I mean, nobody's been using,
Facility?
yeah,
the trash, yeah. Now I'm looking at it doesn't have a title on top of this form. It says, it's,
The abatement.
is this the abatement form right here? Because it says date of service, stop service request, says, looks like 9/1/2014.
yeah, but then below I added a note, please,
Yeah, I only got
stop
half of
the
it.
billing.
Yeah,
we
I
got
only
it.
get half the note, so I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the billing dates they have on here, let me see, the next page says bill number 938 for 163 and 5985 for 148. What time periods are those covering?
It would be 2000,
Is it the 2014 bills? So
I think so, the COVID has
Are these the sewer bills?
no, these are
No,
all
no.
these are all trash.
Trash, okay.
Yeah, we don't touch sewer, thank you.
Yeah, we don't. I know that.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's not us.
I honestly don't, I'm gonna take a guess, but I think, I'm not sure.
I'm thinking that 2014, because you have to pay, you pay in January for January
Yeah.
to June, so that means 2013 would have most likely been paid.
Maybe I have something here, because there was an email that went back, and like, we've been like, it's like when I call into, up here, I get like a little bit and a little bit and a little bit of the pieces, and I think, okay, well, all right, we paid that bill off, and then all of a sudden we receive a bill,
Yeah,
okay.
because I'm looking at,
Bill, it doesn't have a date, but
Yeah.
this was from the Board of Assessors, it says Bill 938
yeah,
and Bill 5985 for $148,000 and the other one,
Yeah,
for $148 and then
Okay.
another one for $163.
Right.
So
I'm trying to figure out the time frame, because,
I think these are the next up and coming bills. So we paid a trash bill and I thought, okay, we're done.
okay.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, another bill comes
So
in, and I'm like,
what
huh?
I can be thinking here is I'm thinking the 163 of bill number 938 could have been June to December of 2014, because you probably paid the January to June. And then this 148 for bill number 5 could be this year's 2015, because you get the bill in December for this 6-month period going to June. You have to pay before the
Okay.
service starts, and then you get one in June for July through December. That's how our trash service works. You pay twice a year, and that's the thing. So if I need to know the dates, if Paula was here, I'd send her downstairs to the assessors. But if I knew the dates, if this 5985 was this year's, January through June, I would have no problem abating that, and I would.
She already filed for an abatement for this year's.
But we haven't seen that one.
She filed in time, that you only get the abatements.
Oh, that one was filed for this year's, has already been filed for, okay. So then these two have to be 2014 bills.
Okay, I'm just gonna, Christine, when you
Yeah.
went downstairs, remember you filed that first paperwork with Mary Oliver for
Yeah,
abatement? And then you asked her if you wanted it to abate the years prior, and she sent you
Right.
up to us. Did she abate the first one for you?
no, what was abated was, the amount due on the sewer bill.
Okay. All right. Because without those dates, I can't figure, I don't know when they're for. So it's tough for us to vote on something when we don't know when they're for.
I was able to contact Allied to ask if they kept record of when they picked up. And they don't have record unless something unusual happens. And all they had was the November email that someone called from 65 Burnett and said that the trash wasn't picked up. I
Okay.
don't know who
Yeah.
that was, but that was in November of
It might
14.
have, it might have been, my sister saying, well, we have the trash, why don't we try to use it?
Yeah, and
And
she
then
put
we put the buckets out
And
and
it
nobody
will be-
picked it
And
up.
there were big black bags next to it, but they did come back and pick that up in November of 14.
Okay. And then we just said, why are we keeping this going if the service doesn't even know we exist? And I mean, there's 2 buckets in the front of the house for the downstairs, which is where my mother lived, and 2 buckets
Yeah, for the
on
second floor.
Oak, so it's like, because it's like a 2-family, we're getting double billed for that.
Okay.
So I mean, at a minimum, from the time that the tenant moved out, to now, that part of the bill should be taken off. And then, since the time my mother moved out, the bill should be taken off.
And that's the thing, is I don't have the dates on the bills. The 2 numbers, we have the numbers, but I don't have the dates. It'd be easier for us to vote on it if we had the exact dates. If we knew that bill number 938 was January to June of 2014, and bill
Yeah.
number 5985 was
'Cause
June
I think we paid off the most recent bill though, right? And then it wasn't until, I forget what tripped it. No, maybe I didn't. Maybe I paid off a past bill.
Yeah,
And then we received a bill, and I thought that was for the year, and then I'm like, wait a minute, they're mistaken.
Yeah.
And then that's when we found out there were these other 2 bills here.
Right.
I'm gonna put one in
Yeah, so
Mary Ellen.
I'm inclined to table this until we get the dates. Because once I have the dates and I know what the service time is for,
Uh-huh.
then I can say, okay, let's do this or let's do that. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, without having the dates, I don't want to bait something that should be paid and then not abate something that shouldn't be paid. And I don't want to pick and choose which one we're going to have you pay, or, I mean, it may come out that we vote and say, no, we're not going to make you pay for either. But until I have the exact dates and what period they're supposed to cover, because I understand they mail you this and they tell you what the bill number is, but they don't tell you what the thing.
The date was.
Yeah, they say the sewer department's fine. It says you have outstanding trash bills of 938 and 5985. Until I know where they are, I don't feel comfortable voting on anything and making a motion until we know what it's supposed to cover. If it came out and said, okay, this part is January to June of 2014, this part is July to December, then we can make a decision on that.
Okay.
And then I want to find out why one's 163 and one 148. And if it's,
think that's-
even if
That's
it's,
multi and single, I think.
well, yeah, and so that's what I'll find out.
I think, isn't that the compounding interest?
I don't know if they put that on there from where us to abate, that comes a little different. We usually get just the cost, and then they handle the late fees. Cause they send out all the bills, and then we cover the trash, so we can
Yeah.
abate things here at the board. They can't downstairs.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's the 40 cents a day compounding, and they're not stopping the 40 cents while
The other
we're
thing too,
waiting for the meeting for the.
we can abate that
Uh-huh.
from, if we decide to do anything, we can look at the date you sent in your request, and we can look at that and say, okay, we're gonna stop charges from this point to this point. We can do that as a board, we can vote on that ourselves. So don't worry about the compounding interest, we're gonna have to table it until I get the right information. I don't have all the information I need to vote on it. And I'm sorry, because it does put you out another couple weeks, but we can make that decision. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for the billing, and I'm gonna say, okay, what was the billing? I don't wanna know the late fees, I don't want anything, I want what the billing was, because that's what I'll look at, and then I can say, if I decide to abate it, I'm gonna abate, this, there may be a small fee here or something like that, but I just need, before I can vote, I need all the information. And it's not, I mean, you came in with what you had, but it doesn't give us the right information for for what we need to vote on. If I had the dates, it'd be a heck of a lot easier.
Okay.
And that's not on you, but if you can get the information, I mean, if you leave here and go downstairs, because I'm not gonna close the hearing, I'm gonna table the hearing
Uh-huh.
and to open up at another time. But if you can get downstairs, get the information,
Are they
then
open right now?
they're open till 7 o'clock. So you get the information, but with the other hearing we have going on, we probably won't be able to meet on it tonight anyways, but you can get the information while you're here, and then even if you get it to Eileen will have it for our next meeting, and then we can go from there.
Okay.
And that way you're not making 25 trips here. If you go downstairs, they're open now, go to the assessors, say, I went up for the board, they need to know the dates on these, they should be able to look it up for you. Okay? So I need a motion to continue the hearing until our next meeting.
Oh, okay,
Will
I
you-
make that motion.
All right, I
Thank you.
I second the motion. It is a roll call vote. So Marion Howard, how do you vote?
I vote to,
Aye or nay?
aye,
Aye.
I do.
And Ray Gauthier votes aye to continue the hearing until our next meeting. Okay? Sorry about that. It's just,
All right.
it's the way it has to be because we need the dates. Okay? And they are open, so if you get off stage, you can get that information.
All right.
All right?
Well, this went a lot smoother than the VA and the Mass Health.
Well, I'm glad, and hopefully, once we get the information, everything will go smooth and
Yeah.
we have you back on. All right,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you
And at
for
least my mother didn't wind up in jail as the IRS.
Neither will you.
Thank
I need a
you.
motion to
Although
close the
I
hearing.
think she would bless the opportunity to get out, right? All right, thank you.
I make the motion that we close the
You'll call
hearing.
me 2 weeks and let me know.
Yeah, it was
All right.
supposed to be on for March 23rd.
Yep.
When they decide, I'll call you and give you a
I
time.
second the motion to close the hearing. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the hearing is closed. Okay, it is 6:26. We need to open the hearing for the Arc of Opportunity. It is solid waste disposal request. They want to withdraw the request. Okay, so Eileen, what do you have for us?
They had just sent an email. They went to had a meeting with the recycle committee, and they discussed several options. And I think you guys might have discussed this option with them as well. But the recycling committee asked them to take some time and try an additional recycle tote and see if that worked for them. And they did. They did that, and I think they feel like it's working because they've withdrawn their request to have 2
That's
trash
good.
totes, because it is a single family.
Yep.
They were trying to be categorized as a multi-family.
Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah, we had said if it went to 3 family, they have to get a dumpster. They don't want to get a dumpster because they don't want to look like that in the neighborhood, so they want to go with the extra totes. I
Yes.
do remember him. Okay. Well, this is pretty cut and dry. They want to remove the request. How do you feel about that?
I feel good.
All right. You want a motion to
I make
accept?
that motion.
I second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have a motion to close the hearing?
Aye.
Now you have to make the motion.
I make that motion that we close this hearing.
I second the motion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we are done with hearings. And the next thing, unless you have anything else, is to set our next meeting. Do you have anything else for us?
Nothing else. I put out the next regularly
He's already
scheduled.
got it.
So March 23rd was one we had scheduled. And I am fine with that.
I'm fine with that too.
All right, and I think Steve was fine with that one the first time around, so let's put it for March 23rd at 5:30. I'm trying to think, why does that number sound familiar, but it could just be from here, so. All right, so next one is March
I
23rd.
think I should email Steve tomorrow and just double check.
Double check with him on that,
Yes.
and let me
Sounds like he
see.
might have changed his schedule. a bit.
Yeah,
So we're good?
so hold on a second. March 23rd is a Monday. 2 weeks after that would be April 6th, because we usually like to set up two.
Yep.
So March 23rd is at 5:30, and then the 2 weeks after that, if we're doing 2 weeks, or we usually do, we do
You do the second
and
and
third.
Third.
Yeah, so actually it wouldn't be April 6th, it would be April 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, if we do the second and the fourth, then it's, that's normal, right? Second and fourth, is that what we do?
Second and fourth, yeah.
I don't know, I
Second
come
and
when
fourth.
I'm
I
told.
won't be here the second and fourth, I don't think.
No, the second, fourth,
This is April.
no, the second and fourth Monday of the month.
Oh, all right.
So, this is a Thursday anyway, so if we go to the second full week, we're looking at the 13th.
Yep, we can do that.
So why don't we put it in for the 13th?
Really? Because yeah, okay, 13.
Because April 1st is a Wednesday,
Yep,
so.
Yep.
So, yeah, why don't we set those two dates, send those both to Steve, please?
Yes.
And if he can handle those, then we can have Paula get the room for us and make sure we're good to go.
Are we keeping this or should you just,
We leave these with,
No, you leave me the blue folder. You
Okay.
can
That
take
she
your
can
stuff
tell.
if you'd like.
okay?
If you don't want, I'll
Anything
take
else
care
you
of
need to go over with us?
I don't think so. I think
All right.
that's it.
At this point, I will take a motion to close the meeting.
all right, I make that motion.
Second motion. Have a great night.